Hi, the SI meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Thursday, March 13th. Well, just a tremendous plunge in temperatures overnight in the Mid-Atlantic region. In Philadelphia, for example, temperatures were way up in the 60s late in the day yesterday, and they dropped all the way down into the mid and upper teens by early this morning. Winds, of course, gusted all night long up to 50 miles per hour or so. The strongest wind gust, the highest wind gust I saw anywhere in the Mid-Atlantic region late in the day yesterday was at Dover, Delaware, where they recorded a 70-mile-per-hour wind gust. Numerous trees have been downed in southeastern Pennsylvania, across the Delmarva Peninsula, down into the D.C. metro region. Some power outages, not a widespread power outage situation, but certainly some scattered power outages in the D.C. area and all the way up into the southeastern part of Pennsylvania. Those strong winds will continue today up to 40 miles per hour or so at times, especially during the morning hours. There will be some diminishing of the winds by later today, and especially overnight tonight, and especially in the D.C. and Philly metro regions. It could still stay quite breezy up across New York City overnight tonight, but by tomorrow temperatures will rebound dramatically, remaining at very cold levels for this time of the year throughout the day today. But again, a dramatic increase in temperatures tomorrow, and it'll stay mild, relatively mild on Saturday, but then colder air moves in Saturday night and Sunday, and that could pave the way for some snow here in the Mid-Atlantic region Sunday night into Monday. Well, I thought we'd start off today with the 24-hour temperature change map from the Penn State EWOL site, because you hardly ever see changes like this. We have, of course, a tremendous drop in temperatures from this morning compared to yesterday morning throughout the entire eastern half of the nation as this powerful cold front moved through the region. Some areas, especially right in here across West Virginia, some 40 degrees colder than this morning than it was at the same time yesterday morning. Now notice out here just a little farther to the west, a dramatic increase in temperatures this morning as compared to yesterday morning. It's 30 degrees warmer here in northern Minnesota than it was this time yesterday. This change to milder conditions will continue to move from west to east, and we'll have a dramatic warm up in temperatures tomorrow afternoon here in the Mid-Atlantic region. And again, it remains relatively mild on Saturday before colder air moves in for Sunday and Monday. Well, here's a look at the current radar from the Penn State EWOL site, and we have precipitation type indicated by color. The blues and whites represent snow, and you see in the last frame here it's all snow throughout New England. Earlier in the several hours ago, there was some mixed precipitation along the coastal regions, but the last couple of frames, colder air has wrapped in, and actually precipitation tended to stop for a while across Massachusetts, but now it's filled back in, and they'll have snow for the next few hours, probably to about the midday point in parts of Massachusetts. Boston is about 19 degrees right now with some light snow. They could end up with a couple of inches of snow out of this over the next few hours. The heaviest snow, upstate Vermont, New Hampshire, throughout much of Maine. Killington, Vermont came in with about 25 inches of snow overnight, and just a tremendous blizzard from about northeastern Ohio across western and northern New York State, the northern half of Vermont and New Hampshire, and throughout much of the state of Maine, just a bit away, a bit inland from the coastal region. That is the area that was the bullseye for this storm, with tremendous snowfall and strong winds as well. Places like Cleveland, Buffalo, Rochester, all the way up to Killington, Vermont, and Bridgeton, Maine, for example. Significant snowfall from this. It all moves out as the day progresses and the cold air remains, but again, even up in New England, there'll be some quick rebound in temperatures on Friday and Saturday as well. Well, let's take a look at one more thing before we focus in on the possibility of snow in the Mid-Atlantic region Sunday night and Monday. Here's the latest infrared satellite imagery loop. Really, a couple of things of interest here. Most of the nation is clear skies right now. You have to kind of go to the corners here. In the upper left here, the Pacific Northwest, more rain is about to move into that area. And of course, we still have this snowstorm raging in the upper part of New England here. Clouds are just now pulling away from eastern Pennsylvania. There'll be increasing amounts of sunshine in New York. Snowing still right now in Boston. That'll end by midday, and there'll be a tendency to clear there by the end of the day, and still some significant snow up across Maine, all of this pulling out to the north and east, and will be replaced by some increasing amounts of clear skies here in the northeastern part of the country. And again, temperatures will rebound quite dramatically on Friday, and it'll stay relatively mild for most of Saturday before colder air moves in, and that colder air moves in from the north as another Arctic high pressure system drops towards the New England area from southern part of Canada. Well, let's take a snapshot look at the U.S. models for this Sunday scenario. Again, we have a cold front that'll come through the Mid-Atlantic region during the day on Saturday. That ushers in colder air. Here's high pressure. This is a forecast map from the last night's 06Z GFS model run for Sunday afternoon, 2 p.m. on Sunday. We'll look at the GFS and then the NAM model forecast for Sunday afternoon, and then we'll finally end up with the Canadian. Quite a bit of difference between the computer forecast models for this early week event. Definitely is a threat for some accumulating snow in the Mid-Atlantic region, in my opinion, come Saturday night into the early part of Sunday. The basic scenario is another Arctic high pressure system drops south and east from central Canada. Colder air rushes down the eastern side of the Appalachian Mountains. This is the GFS forecast map for Sunday afternoon, 2 p.m. Sunday. Couple things. Notice all the moisture here confined to the southeastern part of the U.S. A significant moisture. There is a little bit of moisture down here in the south central part of the U.S. The GFS suppresses this moisture, at least with last night's model run. It tends to go well to the east rather than to the north, and places like D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, New York pretty much stay in the clear according to the latest GFS model run. However, it's been kind of bouncing back and forth, and there's certainly time and reason to believe that the moisture field will come farther north. Now let's take a look now at the NAM model run for the same time period. Here it is. Notice quite a difference here in the south central part of the nation. Again, this is the 2 p.m. forecast map from the 06Z NAM model run, and look at that compared to the GFS. Quite a significant difference between these two models. This is much farther north, and you got kind of a cold air damming type situation setting up here in the northeastern. This is more ominous looking than the GFS in terms of snowfall. This is as far out, 84-hour forecast map, so I can't go out any farther with this NAM model run from 06Z last night, but it certainly is a more ominous look than the GFS computer forecast model run for this Sunday-Monday scenario. Now let's jump to the Canadian model. And here's the Canadian model forecast for the same time period, 2 p.m. on Sunday, and it is the farthest north of all the models, including the European model, by the way. This is a very ominous forecast in terms of snow. We'll walk through this particular model on an hourly basis starting at 2 p.m. on Sunday. And here we go, and notice the blues here represent snow at this time late in the day on Sunday. According to the Canadian model, it's snowing pretty hard in the D.C. metro region. Snow is now moving into southern part of Pennsylvania. Some heavy snow now, according to the Canadian model run from last night's 0Z, and that's heavy snow band moves right across excuse me, into southern Pennsylvania and all the way up to New York City. So again, this particular model, and ultimately it changes to a mixed precipitation type event here by early Monday morning, and the low pressure very close to the mid-Atlantic coastline come early Monday morning. So some differences in the models, even in between the U.S. models, the GFS and the NAM. Definitely reason to believe there can be accumulating snow in the mid-Atlantic region in the Sunday night, early Monday time frame, perhaps even late Sunday afternoon. And we'll continue to monitor all of this over the next day or two here at the SIweather.com. I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.